Hi, my name is Demir and I provide professional Notion consulting, and this video will be covering 4 things. First, how to import data from Google Sheets into a Notion database. Second, merging Google Sheets data into an existing Notion database. Third, exporting data from Notion into Google Sheets. And fourth, exporting filtered data into a Google Sheets file. So let's start off by creating a page where we'd like to import the data. Let's name it Imported Data. The easiest way to import Google Sheets data into Notion is via CSV file. So let's first head on over to our Google Sheets file. Let's open it up. As you can see, we have a simple table with a few columns and rows and some data. We'll be importing this dummy data into Notion. First of all, we need to export this file as a CSV file. To do that, all we need to do is click on File, Download, and comma separated values, or CSV for short. This will export and download our Google Sheets file and data as a CSV file. Now we simply have to head back to Notion, and then on the left side of the screen, click on Import. Then we have to select the CSV, and then find our file and import it. So let's head on over to our Downloads folder, find the file, and open it. Depending on the amount of data you have in your Google Sheets file, this can take a bit of time. Once it's done, all of the data should be imported. It's important to note that the columns might not be formatted with the right column type, so it's worth going through them and changing them. So the name is fine, the salary is a number type, that's also fine. But for example, the tags column is sometimes set to text by default, and all we need to do is change it to multi-select. So we click on the column, click on type, and then change it to multi-select. The date column is sometimes also important not as a date type, so all we need to do is change it. So we would click on the column and then change this type to date. In this case, however, Notion imported everything correctly in regards to the date, so we can just leave it. That's pretty much it for importing a Google Sheets file into Notion. Now let's look at how to append more data from Google Sheets to our new Notion database. But before that, if you find this content useful, please like, comment, or share this video, as it would really help me out. Now back to the video. So let's imagine we have some more data we would like to append from another Google Sheets file. Let's open that file up. So let's head on over to our drive. Open up new file. And as you can see, we have 2 new entries, James and Chris. Now we would have to download this file as a CSV by clicking on File, Download, and comma separated values, or CSV. We would then head on over back to our Notion database. Now it's important that this is the actual original database page and not the page that simply displays the database or shows a linked database. And you can check that on the left side here within the hierarchy. If you go all the way through it, you should notice that the last level of it should be the actual table. So all we have to do next is click on the 3-dot menu, then we click on Merge with CSV, and then we simply have to select the file. And after a few seconds, Notion should be able to append the data from this new file to our database. As you can see, the 2 new entries are here, Chris and James. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now let's look at how to export our Notion database so that we can then open it as a Google Sheet. We will use this database we have been working with so far. All we need to do is click on the 3-dot menu again. Then we need to click on Export, make sure the export format is marked down in CSV, and then click on Export. Now we simply have to name our file and make sure we leave the .zip ending. This is because usually Notion exports files as a .zip. So let's change this to exported 1. Now we simply have to find our file. Let's head on over to our desktop. Right click on it and extract it. Let's open up the file and we should see it here. Let's actually rename this to exported file 1. We can now drag and drop this file into our Google Drive. So let's quickly do that. Once it's uploaded, all we have to do is open it. This will give us an open with option at the top. Let's click on and select Google Sheets. This will now open our exported Notion database as a Google Sheets file. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Finally, let's see how we can export data that we have filtered and sorted in Notion and imported into Google Sheets. First, let's head back to our Notion database. Let's create a new view for our filtered data. Click over here. We'll name it Filtered View. And let's set up a filter and filter some of our data. I'll set the filter to a date range to only show entries between specific dates. Filter, date. Let's set this to an advanced filter actually. And let's say this is after. Let's say after March. Let's add another rule. Let's say this is before. And we'll set this to July. And there we go. Now we have the filtered data. Now that the data is filtered, let's sort it by date as well by clicking on Sort. So click on Sort, Sort by date, and we can leave it in ascending order for now. Now we have our filtered data. Let's export it. First click on the 3-dot menu on the top right. Click on Export. Make sure the export format is set to Markdown and CSV. And now here's the important part. Make sure that the included databases is set to current view. This will ensure that you are exporting only the current view of the database, which ensures that you export only the filtered data. So let's click on export. Let's name this file filtered data and save it. Right click on it, extract it to a folder, open up the folder and find the file here. Let's rename this to exported file 2. Now let's upload our file to Google Drive. So let's drag and drop this into our Google Drive. And once it's uploaded, open it and finally select open with Google Sheets. And there you go. There's our filtered data. And that's pretty much all for this video. If you're looking for a professional to build out a workspace or some professional tooling in Notion, such as a CRM or project management system or anything else for that matter, feel free to get in touch with me on my website with the link in the description. I provide professional Notion consulting and would be happy to help you out. That's all, and thanks for watching.